brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. Aging starts at the cellular level. When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. In the past decade, we have witnessed unparalleled scientific discoveries. During that period, key patented compounds have focused on mitochondrial growth, nerve growth, and rejuvenation. But no one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. We now have the synergistic solution, DNA Force, just one of the key compounds. BioPQQ is backed by major clinical studies and over 175 PubMed-listed published studies. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? The ultimate value, cutting-edge, trailblazing game changer that also supports the InfoWar. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. DNA Force from InfoWars Life.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put two and two together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic Super Male Vitality formula. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose.
I jump out of bed ready to fight these criminals every day. I look forward to waking up and taking my Super Male Vitality.
Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from InfoWars Life. In the near future. When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operations.
But the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
A popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun. You can feel it.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
I'm up here in space. I'm looking down on you. My lasers trace everything you do.
Crashing through the lies and disinformation. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Well, he ran major CIA operations in the Middle East and other parts of the world. Robert David Steele, author, researcher, is our guest. How do I pronounce it? I always pronounce it wrong. It's Phi Beta Iota. I just always say Pi. Phi, P-H-I, Beta Iota.net, or just Google Robert David Steele. It's the top link right there. He's our guest. I'm Alex Jones. I want to go to your phone calls, Frank and Gabe and Pam and Michelle and Michael and Daryl and others that are patiently holding. But getting back to you here, Robert. Look, I've got 3 kids. I just want to have prosperity. I want to have freedom. I want to live in a free country. I want other countries to do well. But there's a corporate zombie view, a crony capitalist view that they admit and write in books, where they want everybody else to be shut down by government and regulations, but only they are exempt to operate. Call it fascism, crony capitalism, whatever it is. They've got to know that karmically they'll never get away with enslaving everyone so they can be in control of a pile of skulls. I really don't understand the ruling class and what they're doing. Am I wrong in that analysis, or can you expand on it? I mean, where's the world going?
Well, Alex, I think you're right, but the world is changing. The elites, the 1%, have been focused for the last 50 years on creating governments that are 100% corrupt, that do exactly what they're told to do by the bankers and the elites, and that screw the public. And what has happened now is that they've realized that they're killing the golden goose. And it's not just the banks. The corporations are now starting to realize, some of the corporations, that minimum wages create serfs that can't buy their products. This is something Henry Ford knew long ago. The good news, the big news, is that the elites have broken ranks. Lady Lynn Rothschild, who it turns out comes from New Jersey, she just married a knight in England, has held a conference on inclusive capitalism. The Mars family is pressing on with something they've been doing for 50 years, which is mutuality economics. And we have our black sheep billionaires now on the West Coast. And what is happening is there is a segment of the elites that's starting to realize that everything they've been doing has been toxic for their future generations. So I think there's actually good news on the horizon.
Well, I agree with you, because over the years, a lot of elites live in Austin, and I've been in L.A., New York. I mean, I've met with really famous people, really powerful people, and they're more awake than the general public, and they're freaked out and don't like what's happening with their kids and grandkids. And then there's a disconnect then. How, if you're running the world, how is it this bad? And they go, look, there's a lot of really dark people at a core group who want everything and who want to basically wreck the whole system to ensure they get control of the future. And so what you're saying is true. There is a major split in the ranks of the elite.
Yeah, and our public education is what makes the difference. I mean, we've been dumbed down and drugged up for a long time. But what I see happening now is the public is waking up. And your listeners are in the vanguard. I really believe that the pressure can now be brought on Congress. And frankly, these 2 weeks before the election in November are prime time for us taking the government back.
I want to go to some phone calls and get their take and your response to it. But what about a year and a half ago, our own military saying we're not going to support bombing Assad for al-Qaeda, and then them trying to change the name to ISIS to confuse the public, and Turkey's bombing the Kurds as they beg for help against ISIS? That's blowing up in their face. I mean, there's just so much good news. It's the best of times, worst of times, like Tale of Two Cities, though.
It is, and the military is still conflicted. I mean, the U.S. government is afraid of its veterans because the veterans have paid the supreme sacrifice. They have done their job. They've come home. They're disillusioned. They know they've been lied to, and they're armed and dangerous.
You got a bunch of cowardly corporate lawyers that love the military enforcing their edicts, but are scared of them.
Yes. What I see happening here is the veterans, the young college kids, the older guys like myself that are unemployed but want to work, and the soccer moms. I see us all coming together, but what we're missing is a catalyst. Ebola is an excellent precipitant for the public coming together, but we're still missing some kind of catalyst that actually brings us together in a manner much more effective than Occupy with its waggling fingers.
And that's something like a woman torturing herself in front of the White House of the Capitol.
Alex, I expected you to set that up after I mentioned it the first time.
We haven't found the volunteer yet, and we better watch it. Somebody does it, they'll blame it on us. We hope that doesn't happen. I mean, is there something other than that that's a precipitant that isn't so horrid? Or the Tree of Liberty's got to be watered?
I'm not sure. I certainly believe in nonviolence. I really would love to see an occupation of the home offices of every senator and representative for the next 2 weeks. And I would like to see them forced to sign a pledge to pass the Electoral Reform Act that reopens the elections to all of us, not just the two-party tyranny. That, for me, would be a good start. And I agree that Ebola is not a major threat to the country, but the incompetence of the government is. So
well, sure, it's an indicator. It's an indicator of how out of control they are.
Yes, and electoral reform is how we restore the integrity of the U.S. government. That's the one thing we should all be able to agree on.
Sure, I just don't know if you get folks excited about that, even though I agree it's key. they may get excited enough to go storm peacefully the offices of senators and congresspeople to point out that there's a stand down going on with the strike. The article's on Infowars.com. Stop Ebola strike. Hashtag national strike to force Obama to block West African flights. Let's go to one call before we go to break. Let's talk to Frank in New York. You're on the air with our guest, Robert David Steele. Go ahead.
Good evening. How are you?
Good. Go ahead.
Basically, I just want to say something right now. This Antichrist president that we have, I think he's really following orders from Satan himself, basically. Because how can you allow people to come to this country knowing they have Ebola? It just infuriates me to no end. I'm very pissed off about this.
Well, I think what Steele said is true. Obama knows he's a complete puppet. But when you actually don't empower government people to have any power and it's all bureaucracy and all corporate interest, then it begins to manifest itself, and then the whole illusion implodes.
Well, let me tar and feather John Kerry, our Secretary of State. John Kerry gave up his integrity long ago. But one of the things he did that I consider treason was burying the Iran-Contra investigation.
Oh, yeah.
John Kerry ignored letters from Gary Hart and from pilots, Plumlee and many others, and he buried that investigation because he was asked to bury it by the two-party tyranny. So from where I sit, John Kerry has no business being Secretary of State, and he is, in fact, a primary reason why we are not acting responsibly. For instance, we should have hospital ships off of the coast of West Africa.
Sure.
We should have the 30-minute test mandated for anyone coming through Europe from West Africa before they get on a plane. Just like Homeland Security can check everybody that gets on a plane before the plane takes off, there's no reason why we can't do that.
Well, exactly. Grabbing my testicles is pointless. Checking me for Ebola if I'm coming from an Ebola country is totally reasonable. No one would complain about that.
But the key thing, Alex, is there's a test that takes 30 minutes. It can be done at the airport.
So you get there early.
It's a test that exists that the U.S. government is not requiring.
There you go. We're going to go to a break and come back and go to some final calls. Michael and Daryl and Gabe and Pam and others. Again, you've got two websites, and they're both very interesting. Tell us the difference between the two different sites.
Well, the BigBatUSA.org is from my very short presidential campaign, and it's where all the ideas are that I hope someone like Jim Webb will actually pay attention. Anyone who does not look at a coalition government, electoral reform, and so forth is not going to get elected president. I'll tell you about the other one next time.
Well, absolutely, because the news site's the one I really like. We'll be right back, folks. Final segment straight ahead as we try to talk about real issues. This is not dumbed down radio, not dumbed down TV. We talk about real issues here, not a bunch of regurgitated corporate socialist propaganda.
When you're out on the road, the last place you want to be is on the road. But if the unfortunate happens, you'll be glad you were wearing diamond gussets.
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you'll love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
We turn jeans inside out. Diamond gusset jeans. Made in the USA with unparalleled quality. Our Defender motorcycle jeans combine gusset comfort with Kevlar protection, so you can ride all day with confidence. Order yours at gusset.com. Diamond gusset jeans got it, others don't.
The experts are clear. Sunlight, purified water, healthy non-GMO food, and having a good attitude is essential to a healthy immune system. But I go further with Super Nascent Iodine X2 from InfoWarsLife.com. 50% stronger than our original and revolutionary Nascent Iodine formula, coming from a deep earth crystal source that no other supplier has. Most other forms of iodine come from seaweed in areas plagued by Fukushima and other contaminants. Not our iodine. It comes from over 200 million-year-old crystal salt deposits and is tested and proven to be completely pure. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today. See the informational videos. Read the information they're compiled. And for a limited time, when you use promo code NOW at checkout, you get an additional 5% off the entire family of InfoWarsLife.com products.